Good afternoon. This afternoon we are here with Pundit Ji and just chit chatting on some aspects of yoga. So, welcome Pandit Ji
Thank you. Thank
to
you, Meena.
Rockville, Maryland.
Thank you, Rupali.
Um, I think our audience and our some students have some questions,
Hmm.
and when it comes to aspects of yoga, so I'll let Rupali ask that question.
Okay. Yes.
Sir, we've always heard about yoga as a practice on the mat.
Hmm.
So today, if you can shed some light on how we can bring that practice from the mat into our own lives, how we can, go deeper, dive deeper into our yoga practice.
How to bring from the mat, yoga mat, to our daily life? Yes. So, yoga came on yoga mat just 4 or 5 decades before. It has always been part of life or way of life since its beginning, thousands of years. Yogis in India in ancient time, they were living with yoga. For them, it was not just 1 hour practice. So we can really bring yoga into our daily life. Every moment can be spent as per or with the principles of yoga. So we have to understand what are the basic principles of yoga. When you apply those principles, you are living with yoga. Very easy, it's not very complicated or very difficult. Yoga asks you to be aware of everything. First thing, be aware of everything. Don't live subconsciously, live consciously. See, in our life, we learn many things from our childhood to live a life, live a better life. We learn, keep learning, right? So whatever we know today at the adult age, like 30s, 40s and 50s, majority of things, 95% we learn by the age of 16, 17 or 18. And out of that, 50% we learn by the age of 7. After the age of 17, we learn only 5%. Whatever we have learned by the age of 17, we keep living with that learning. We hardly improve, we hardly learn new things. We forget how to learn new things. We have learned right from the language, how to speak, how to walk, how to take pause and how to work. Every action of our this body and mind we have learnt by the age of 17. Yoga says not to stop like that. I give you another example. You both know how to drive car, right? When you learnt driving the car, when you came on the steering for the first time, how much conscious you were about driving. So you were using your intellect 100% when you came on the first day for driving the car, learning how to drive the car. Then second day it was 95%. After a week it was 80%. After a month it was 50%. After 1 year it was 10%, and after 10 years it is only 1%. So we don't use our intellect. Once we learn some, while learning, we use the intellect, otherwise we don't use the intellect. I observe and I can say that we use our intellect occasionally. In the society, people use their intellect occasionally. You have to think upon it. How many times, when I say occasionally, maybe 10 times in a month. And what is my base of saying this? When you meet someone for the first time, when you visit a place for the first time, when you do something for the first time, then only you use your intellect. Second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time, 10th time, no. I have come here at Rupali's place. If I am meeting her for the first time, she will use her intellect 100%. When I will become friendly after meeting 50 times, she will not use her mind, her brain, her intellect to talk to me. Right now, she is so careful about what sir will eat, he will sleep, how he will, what I can do for him. But these things doesn't repeat. Okay, so anything, meeting new person for the first time, we use our intellect. Doing new things, we use our intellect. Being at one place, you had been to Greece and Spain and places like that. So all the time, you were using your intellect for finding where to go. I have to remember how to come back to the hotel and finding the place all the time. Oh, everything is new for you. So that's why we suggest to travel a lot, because when you travel, you use your intellect. So you should have the habit to travel. So coming back to the point, that a yogi is the one who is conscious about everything. He is using the intellect all the time. He is an observer to the observant, and he is observant to all the things is being observed. To give you another example, see, when you become observer, you start to witness about everything. Witnessing also has 3 levels. If you demand food, how do you say, I am hungry? If you demand for water, how do you say, I am thirsty? This is a common perception, common speaking way of speaking. I am thirsty, or I am hungry, or I am having pain, I am having suffering, I am having pleasure, right? Now, yogic perception at one level, witnessing at the lower level. That I am aware, I am using my intellect. My intellect is aware that my senses can sense that my stomach, my abdomen, my body is feeling hunger. I am not. This intellect becomes far away from you. Okay, so this intellect says, I can sense through my senses that my body is demanding water. Understand? You don't then say, I am thirsty. I and my body and my senses and my organs, they are all different parts. Then you go another level, yogic level, that I am conscious that my intellect can sense through its senses that the body is hungry. Then you are very far away from your body. So everything becomes so far, your suffering becomes so far, your pain becomes so far, all the sensory actions and reactions become so far. So this is what they mean to say living with yoga means being aware of everything, being conscious of everything, be witness to everything. And then when you start to do this, then you are not making mistakes in life. Everything is going as per perfection, in order. Then you are not sleeping and living. You are not being in waking sleep state. This is one of the state. We look like awakened. We are awakened in the morning, but we are not really awakened. We are still sleeping. When we don't use intellect, we are sleeping. So we are in waking sleep state. Okay. So everything we do, if I ask you to get a glass of water, it is your house. You will simply walk in by listening to something, doing something, and doing anything. You can get the glass, get the water filled, and bring it here. So you are not aware what you have done. The way we drive the car or eat the food and everything. So living with yoga means being aware of everything, being conscious of everything, being witness to everything. Then everything you do so precisely measured without any mistakes, and you go on for a betterment of your life, day-to-day life. Understand?
So do we start saying that my body is going to go get a glass of water.
I'm going to
I'm
use
observe.
my body is an utility, and body is using its parts, is karmendriyas, to get the glass of water.
Now, how does it help with the pain and suffering?
You become far from it. You are not the body. You are not even mind. You are a consciousness. You you come to that realization. Then it's like if I tell you that Janena has uh, has got an accident and got badly hurt and she is into hospital. Does it happen anything to you? You don't know who is Janena, right? If I say Swarda, my daughter, has got an accident and she is badly hurt and she is in hospital, do you get hurt? Right? If I say your daughter got accident and she is in hospital, how does it affect you?
More.
More. Same way, we create a distance from our body, from our mind, from our senses, everything. Then our consciousness becomes unaffected with everything going on. The pain is there to my toe, to my knee, to my back. It's not to me. The back belonging to me. I don't belong to that. I'm an eternal soul, I'm an eternal being. This time I'm with this body, so I'm just observing this body. So everything becomes far away things.
Does that become more easier to remove, even be away from your ego?
Ego,
Is you.
ego is being utilized by you. You don't get utilized by ego. You also identify what is ego and when to use and how to use the ego. Ego is like your passport. You don't carry your passport in your upper pocket all the time and keep showing that this is my passport, this is my passport. This is the way people are living with my passport. You use the passport when you travel outside the country. That's it. So when it is required, you use your ego. Ego means simple identity, just to utility. That's it. Otherwise, we are part of this whole cosmos, nature, world, earth, everything. We are just part of everything. We don't separate ourselves. Ego creates separation from everything, from our nearby people and far away people.
If we have to do deeper study on this subject, do you have any place where we can reference
Place is yourself. You have to be an observer. Like in yoga we say tapaswadhyay ishwar pradhanani. So we have to uh, be committed and do the self study, because there are n number of books and n number of explanations and books. they are they are they have certain limits. See, someone understood through sadhana something, then he wrote in the book. He was born in a different era, so the language, the words and his perception, everything is different. Then someone explains it through commentary books, like if I say Gita, Bible, Quran or Yoga Sutra or Vedanta, all these, they are so far away things from you. So why don't you become the author of those books? What they have done, great thing. They became an observer. They became a meditator. So you become an observer, you become a meditator, and you can validate your findings, your wisdom, your true knowledge with those scriptures. Then it will become like, yes, I am going right. Understand? So no need to go for certain books and certain scriptures and narrations of various masters. I always suggest you become a master. Just follow your breath, just follow your observation, just follow everything. Become witness minded person, and then one day you become a person with great wisdom.
And I think initially I feel that really opens up a lot of can of thoughts.
Absolutely.
Because I think I read a book a couple of weeks back and that's exactly my experience was.
Mm-hmm.
The book is called Untethered Soul.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think right after that, it was like I was thinking about everything, any, you know, good, bad, positive, all those feelings, all
More
those thoughts.
conscious
Yes,
about
were,
it.
yeah. So I think during a discussion this morning, I did ask you how to kind of work with those thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
and your answer at that time was also the same. Just observe them. So
Yes, yes. Just become an observer. And this is what we have not learnt yet. This is what not taught by schools and society and parents and guardians. This is written everywhere in Gita, in Bhagavad, in Yoga Sutra, in Sankhya and Vedanta. Be an observer. Be like this. It's very common word, no? Self-realization.
yeah,
So you have to start to observe yourself. Then only you will realize who you are. But it is. It looks nice for listening, but to start, be committed. Tapa is be committed person. Okay, so then you can know everything. Knowing the self, knowing the nature, knowing everything.
So that's obviously it requires more consciousness to sit and do sadhana. First, do we use, how does it progress to that place where?
Right. Here I would like to say that sadhana people think that we have to go in Himalayas or go into the caves or somewhere in jungle and sit and close our eyes and then sit for hours. Okay, so that is one way. I don't deny that that is not the path of sadhana, but there are another way too. There are many great yogis. They looked like a simple grahastha, householder people. They had children, they had parents, and they are living in a combined family. But still, they became a realized soul. So you can start doing sadhana with eyes open, being in this society, following your responsibilities, everything. You can be an observer or meditator even with eyes open. But you need to do in the initial level for like a month or 2 months or 3 months. You should sit with eyes closed at least for 1 hour, 1.5 hour regularly. Then you create a new mind to be with yourself, which is not there. It has a habit to be with all others except self. So, for creating a new mind, new habit to be an observer, you need to do sadhana at one place regularly, without fail, without a gap, every day, every day, every day. Then these senses which are so outward becomes inward. They get little connection and then friendliness with yourself, and you become an observer. Then you can continue to be an observer with the eyes open. Whatever you are doing, you can be in sadhana. And more you get to know about yourself, you get to know more about everything outside yourself. Right now, if you know yourself 2%, you can know others or anything 2% only. Listen this carefully. Huh? If you know yourself 5%, you can know anything 5%. If you know yourself 100%, you can know anything 100%. This aeroplane is passing by. You can know anything about this aeroplane, all the mechanism, everything, if you know yourself 100%.
Which is hard.
Which is hard.
Or
See,
impossible.
it is possible, but we are not trained. Our mind is not trained for doing that. We have to, like going into opposite direction of the big flooding river.
Yeah.
So, but it is hard. Gradually, your muscles becomes strong enough to go against the river flow, and then you can reach to the Himalaya, because the river is coming from Himalaya.
so in your experience, have you come to that point where you realize that now you've become an observer? Is there like a way of knowing?
Of course, then only I can talk about it. My confidence is now today is just because of my personal experience of it. It was unbelievable things for me. I was not believing in all that, reading books and saying that knowing yourself you can know the world. So I was thinking if this is either a wrong sentence or maybe it is not my cup of tea, I cannot get it. Knowing myself, how can I know the world? Now I, with certain experience, certain sadhana practices, I can experience and I can say the reality of it. It's not that knowing ourselves we can know the world. We knowing ourselves we know the world. This is not the right sentence. Right sentence is as much as we know ourselves, that much we can, if we want to, if we can know others or other things. It's not that if we become self-realized or enlightened, we will just keep moving around and looking, I know this, I know this. No, I don't have time for all that. But if we want, we can. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For
God bless.
shedding a great
Thank
light
you.
and great topic.
Thank you.